Hello, friends. I found an interesting tree on a hike once at Oak Mountain State Park in Shelby County, Alabama. It's on a heavily trafficked trail called King's Chair Overlook. So if you've hiked that trail, you've probably seen this tree too. But the tree looks very normal at its base at earth level. But it soon encounters a boulder, a huge boulder, and the tree seems to have molded itself to the surface of the boulder. And because of the color of the trunk and the color of the tree, it's hard to tell where the trunk starts and the tree starts and vice versa. But beyond the boulder, the tree looks normal again. I've seen saplings bent at odd angles before as it's trying to overcome an obstacle, but I've never before seen a tree so fully adapted to this obstacle like this tree was. So what I expect happened is a sapling got rooted right at the base of this boulder, and as it tried to reach toward the sun, it encountered the rock face and had to bend away, and as it kept bending, it kept coming against that rock face and had to mold itself and keep reaching for the sun. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's. It's a memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. And those 8 years of Harvey's Alzheimer's disease did change me. It molded me into a new person. It changed me as I shifted and adapted and adjusted my life. My lives, plural, because Alzheimer's disease is such a moving target, always changing. I had to always shift and move and change. And I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't have the wherewithal or the time to really think about it as I was just shifting and adjusting to the circumstances of the time. I was just doing what needed to be done. But I was surely changed by that experience, and not all bad. So prior to Harvey's diagnosis, I have to admit, I felt a little uncomfortable around persons living with all forms of dementia. And I didn't let it show, and I don't think people picked up on that, but I had a hard time relating to persons who had some cognitive impairment, but not anymore. I really enjoy talking with and being with persons who are experiencing dementia, entering their world with them. And I enjoy talking to caregivers as well, especially spouses, answering questions, giving advice if that's what's called for, or just being present and a listening ear. So I would also say that prior to the diagnosis, I was a strong person, but I really came into my strength with Harvey's diagnosis. I made difficult decisions that had to be made, and now I realize that I don't dither about making unimportant decisions now. If I can just make the decision now and not procrastinate, things just move along much better. And also prior to Harvey's diagnosis, I was pretty proud of the work-life balance I had achieved, and it was very nice. But I also realized that I thought that some of the things I was doing to bring balance to my life really just weren't important. Things like having spa treatments and shopping and meeting friends for lunch, which were all good and well and fine, but I didn't have time for that during Harvey's illness. And I found that things that brought me joy and peace were more things like being in nature, reading, and pursuing some artistic pleasures, artistic pursuits. I would also say that I am now more aware of my own health and my desire to be healthy and live a good, long, healthy life and not take my health for granted. I want to continue to do the things as a family, the active things that we like to do as a family for as long as possible. And I'm just taking better care of myself now. Now, Harvey was absolutely scarred and marred by his time with Alzheimer's disease. But I have written about a year ago a realization I had that some of these scars were beautiful. So if you want to look for that blog post, it's entitled Alzheimer's Beautiful Scars. So, but me and my daughters still carry scars and deep, tender wounds from those 8 years. They're not as raw as they were as the scar tissue is building just because of the passage of time. But they will always be with us. I have been marked, but I will continue to grow and reach toward the sun. Thank you. Be well and keep your balance.